Alright, Shalom Akim. Before I get started with the lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Harakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders that rule well at Great Millstone. And also Shalom to all you sincere Hakim, preaching this word in all truth and in sincerity. Alright, so the topic I want to touch on today is, the end of the world. Alright. The end of the world. Because we are living in the last days. Okay, we've been living in the last days since Yahushai came on the scene. Alright, since he came on the scene and he fulfilled his lot. From that moment on, we've been living in the last days. Okay, but now we're approaching the end, of that time. Alright, the end in which all things are going to be fulfilled. All the prophecies. Okay, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. Martial law, civil unrest, okay, civil war, all right, which is Jacob's trouble, okay, that martial law, the economic collapse, okay, plagues, all right, all these things that are going to come upon the earth, nuclear war, that's Jacob's trouble. This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. Now this is talking about Edomite supremacy. This is talking about Esau, the so-called white man, all right, rising up in a power, which is dealing with the end. Okay. It says, and power was given to him that sat there on that red horse is Esau. And we're going to touch on that. Okay. This is Genesis chapter 25, and I'm going to start at verse 25. And the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. The name Esau is a Hebrew word, Isashua, which means wasted away is he. Okay, that's why he came out red all over. He lacked pigmentation. Okay, you got the word melanin, and melanin is a gene in which colored people, produce in order to absorb vitamin D from the sun. Okay, it's either that way or vice versa. And that's that gene Esau lacks. Okay, and what I mean by Esau lacks that, Esau, according to the flesh, like how they originally look. Because you do have melanated Edomites. But the original, the progenitor, that's how he came out. Okay, he came out red all over. It says, like a hairy garment. Okay. When you understand certain animal hides, okay, there were certain animal hides that they would dye red. Okay. And they were usually goats, lambs, things of that nature, animal of that nature. You even had heifers, which is a cow, and they would dye the skins, the hides, red. Okay, so Esau was bloodshot. He was like one of those dyed garments. Okay. It says, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Right, so it gives you characteristics of what Esau looked like, or looks like. But it doesn't give you no characteristics of what Jacob looked like. Because everybody on the face of the world in those times was melanated. Okay, they had skin tone. They were what you call colored people. You got the word human. Human means colored man. Okay, the word hue means color. All right, Esau. If you want to be literal, Esau is not human. Okay, but that's what that red horse is in Revelation 6 and 4. So let's go back to that. It's Revelation 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red, right? When Esau came out, how was he? He was red all over, like a hairy garment. So that's what this is talking about. And it calls him a red horse because a horse signifies power. Okay, Esau is on the seat right now. Esau is in power. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And Esau did take peace from the earth. Okay, when you look at history, all right, you look at history, who funded all these wars? Who caused all these wars? Who finished all these wars? It was Edomites, man, so-called white people, man. You had what do you call it? The Korean War. That started in the 40s, 50s. Okay. That's why you got North and South Korea. Okay, because of the Korean War. That was, instigated and funded by Esau. That's why you got North and South Korea, them bumping heads. Because Esau went in there and interrogated them, and he instigated them, Salakia. Okay, he had them pick sides and fight one another when they're the same people. And to this day, their borders are, they're closed. You got family members that haven't seen their other family member in like 60 years. Well, that's all doings to Esau, man. Look at them Hamites in Africa. When the Nazis came into power, or when they were rising up into power, they were testing out their new technology on them Hamites, man. Okay, you had them Nazis and Germans. They went into the land of Ham, and they were there wetting all those Hamites up using all their assault rifles, their submachine guns, all the new technology that they came out with. He tested it out on them, man. And you can just go on Google and, search. They were laying them down, man. Not just the Germans, but the Brits. That's why you got Edomites in South Africa. Right now they're getting butchered because Ham wants their land back. But for a while, Esau was down there, man. He was taking peace from the earth. And that they should kill one another. See, he instigates these wars. Okay, not only amongst himself, but amongst other people. Amongst other nations. And there was given unto him a great sword, which represents his military might. Okay, going back to Esau. Let's get it. Genesis 27, and I believe it's 37. Salakia. Verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Now this is dealing with the blessing, the birthright, which Esau sold to Jacob. Okay, you can read about that. Esau sold it fair and square to Jacob. And then he had the audacity to lie to Isaac and bitch and cry. Okay. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. When you look at fat, when it comes to food, okay, fat holds a lot of nutrients, man. And fat is you know, you see people and they're bloated, they're fat, okay. Well, that's a lot of substance, man. You know, so it says that Esau's dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Meaning Esau would get the best parts in the world as we see today. And it's not like he owns these things, because check it out, it says your dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, where you live. You know, regions that you have a grip on, so to speak. It says, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live. So going back to Revelation 6:4, where it says, and there was given unto him a great sword, that's dealing with his military might, the power he has militarily, the weaponry he could produce, the wisdom that Esau has, the faith that Esau has, his strength relies in his weapons, man. This guy is Inspector Gadget, you know. This guy is fucking Batman. You watch that Batman versus Superman. Superman had spiritual power. Batman, he had gadgets. He had tools. He had, you know, carnality. He had carnal power. You know, that's Esau, man. That's Esau, the so-called white man. Okay? That's how he rules. He rules the world through his military. You know, things that are going on the earth today in the Middle East. Well, look who's pushing for all that. Esau. You got America going over there shooting cruise missiles. You got fucking France and NATO and the EU getting involved, which is the beast, by the way, dropping bombs, sending their little troops in to back up America. Okay, these are all Edomites. Okay, and that's how they rule. That's how they dominate. That's how they hold on. Okay, that's how they have a grip. Their control is through that sword. All right. It says, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And that happened during the time of King David. Okay, when the Edomites rebelled. Okay, they rebelled against Israel, against the kingdom, Slakia, of Jerusalem, which was being ruled by David. King David. Okay. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And Esau held on to that hatred. All right, let's go to Obadiah. It's Obadiah 1 and verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Okay, so that's how Esau feels about Jacob, about you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We're the real Israelites. Okay, we've been out here, man, preaching this for years. Our bosses have been preaching it for what would you call it? Centuries, 100, but they've been preaching it for man, I forget what you would say, for tens. But pretty much, man, this truth has been out here here, man. The apostles, and their elders have been preaching this word, man. Have been preaching this word against you people and to our people. Against you people, meaning you other nations. And to our people, man, so that they can understand, so that they can hear. Whether they're going to take heed or whether they're going to cast it behind them. Okay, but we're living at the end, man. We are clearly living in the end. All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. Actually, verse 7. It says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Right. And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world. Right? So these Edomites, man, these so-called white people, they're the end of the world. They are the end of this world. And that word for world there simply means aeon, okay, which means the end of an age. Okay, they're the end of this age. They're the end of this generation. Okay, because what's going to happen is Esau's going to realize that his time is up. And he's going to come down with that great wrath, as it speaks about in Revelation 12 and 12. And when he comes down with that great wrath, that's going to be Jacob's trouble. They're going to implement the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, which is a microchip. Okay, and World War III is going to kick off, which is going to be a nuclear war. And that nuclear war is going to destroy America, and it's going to destroy other parts of the earth, okay, such as the land of Israel. It's going to get nuked to hell and back. Okay, it's going to destroy Edomite rulership, man. In all reality, it is the end of an age, but it's the end of Esau. Let me read this again in verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So it's the end of Esau, man. It's the end of you Edomites. You so-called white people, man. Okay, you're nothing but a plague, a fucking virus. You're the devil. All you do is rape, rob, murder. All you do is destroy. Okay. It's the end of you. That's why it's very important that we push this word out, man. Because if you're not pushing this word, okay, you're not going to receive salvation, man. You're going to die along with Esau, man. Because it tells you in the book of John, it says that they are the father of the devil, referring to our people, man. So they're going to die right along with Esau. Two-thirds is prophesied to be destroyed along with Esau, man. But there it is, you know. Esau is the end of the world, man. The end of this age. The end of this generation. The end of this system. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Alright, just like it talks about in the book of Daniel, which I'm going to get that, and then I'm going to close it. This is Daniel 7 and 19. Daniel 7 and 19. Then would I know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. Now that's talking about the Roman Empire. And when the Roman Empire came into power, okay, they were unstoppable for their time. Okay. Anybody that rose against the Roman Empire got crushed. That's why I said they were like iron. Iron is very strong. You can use iron to produce steel, which steel on the Mohs scale can be like a high 8 to a 9. That's very hard. And not only is it hard, but it's also solid. You got diamonds. Diamonds are hard, but they're brittle. And that's why if you take a hammer, you could break diamonds. You could crush them. The iron is very strong. It's very solid. And that's what he was saying about the ancient Roman Empire, which is reincarnated today as America. Of course, with the alliance of NATO and the EU, which is the beast. But America is the sword of that system. Okay, that's why when any kind of feud breaks out, America's the first one to run up in it. All right, Daniel 7:19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Right? Those 10 horns is dealing with NATO and the EU. Okay. Britain being great. Okay. And America came out of that, man. Whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. So all hell's about to break loose in order for us to receive our kingdom. Okay? But just like they did during the time of ancient Rome, where the Lord was on the scene and they waged war against the saints, they're going to do it again. But this time, they're going to lose. Okay, this time the Lord is going to give power to his elect. I'm going to jump down to verse 26. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart. Yep. And verse 28 is the conclusion. It says, hitherto is the end of the matter. And that's the end, man. Esau coming down with that great wrath and then he's going to get stomped out. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and the saints, which are Israelites, the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, are going to receive the dominion and everlasting kingdom forever and ever. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, our Kakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders that rule well at Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect.